Hello and welcome, everybody. I am Terry the Voice with the Pulse Talk Show, and I'm excited that we are back. And I'm more excited at the fact that you guys were able to tune in virtually at this time during our pandemic. So our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to anybody that has been affected by this virus. So on today's show, we are going to talk about the tragic situation that happened in Dayton, Ohio on August 4th, 2019 in the Oregon District. That shooting left a stain in our hearts and in our brains that will last for a very long time.
Tonight, stories of heroism from inside the Dayton bar where the gunman's rampage ended. In less than 30 seconds, dozens were hurt. 9 people killed.
Dayton, Ohio, no matter what's going on, no matter how tough these times get, we hold our heads up high because we know what we're about.
That shooting left a stain in our hearts and in our brains that will last for a very long time. It is known as the Oregon shooting, or better yet, the Oregon 9, where 9 people lost their life and 17 others injured. So on today, we will have a chance to sit down and talk with someone who was connected to that shooting physically and emotionally because she was there in the midst of that trying time. So as our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to anybody connected to the Oregon shooting, we lost friends, they lost brothers, they lost fathers, they lost sisters, they lost daughters, they lost nieces. Many little young kids lost their mother and father on that day. So our thoughts and our prayers continue to go out to them. All right, everyone, I'm Terry the Voice with the Pulse Talk Show. We are here with the interview as promised with Chelsea Jones, who was one person that had to experience the Oregon 9 shooting up close and personal. So let's take you to that day. Just what was that day like? Obviously, you were going out to have some fun. Mm-hmm. Just give us the rundown up until that point.
Okay, so normally every weekend I would go to the Oregon with one of my best friends. And that weekend, it was kind of, I would say that day it was weird. The whole day was kind of off. And I didn't really know, like I wanted to go out, but something just wasn't right. And normally, like I'm really big on energy and like just following my gut. But I was like, it's the Oregon, like, let's go. And it was just really, it was hard to coordinate with my friend. Like, are we going to get there? So we finally got it and made it happen. And we went down there. And when we got down there, we were in line, at the back of the line. And then I happened to see a girl that I went to middle school with. And she, motioned for us to go ahead and come up and get in line with her. So we did that. And we're just waiting in the line. Well, we were just talking, me and my friend, we were just talking and, snapping and all that.
Doing what girls do.
Yes, doing the most. So we ended up kind of back at the end of, like, people just were walking past us because we were just kind of doing our own thing. And when we realized that, we were like, wait, okay, let's go back up here with the friend again, with the girl from middle school. So we did that. And the second we did that, we were, like, next in line. So the guy was checking my friend's ID, and then I had handed him mine, and that is when the first bullet rang out. So we heard the first bullet. It was just one bullet, one round, and we all kind of looked in that direction. It was from the left of us, so we all kind of looked in that direction, and we all just paused, like, what was that? And then we went, continued back, and the guy handed me my ID back, and then it started with more bullets then. And so everybody kind of just rushed into the club. I think it was Nip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we kind of just rushed into the club there. Do you want me to keep telling?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. So we we kind of all just ran in there, but my first instinct was to kind of just get down low. And I don't really know why I did that because there was so many people. But I did that, and they kind of just, like, pushed me over and, like, ran right over me, literally. So that happened, and my best friend at that time, we were holding hands. So you know, she's kind of still up and I'm low, and she's still holding my hands, and we're just trying to get through the club. But at the time, of course, the club was already full because there were people in there, and then there's so many people trying to get through the door to get, you know, from outside. So the shooting, you know, it seemed like it was just going on forever.
So take me to that moment. You're obviously you're down low, which, you know, mindset is someone shooting, bullets are higher. You know, so obviously you get down low to avoid any bullets that may come your way. And you're down on the ground. You see people tumbling over you. You see people falling. Of course, people pushing each other, rushing to obviously get away from the door area because the bullets are outside. What is going through your mind at that time? Not knowing exactly what was going on, not knowing that eventually that guy will get caught, not knowing how many bodies there will be injured and ones to lose their life. What is going through your mind in that process?
So I just assumed that it was somebody just doing something they didn't have no business doing, and I just didn't want to be caught in the crossfire. That was my assumption, is that it was somebody with somebody in mind that they were, you know, attacking, but I just didn't want to be caught in the crossfire. So that was my whole thing. I just thought it was something happening, and I just didn't want to be a part of it. So that's what I thought. So once the shooting was over, you know, I was nervous because you could hear it getting louder and getting closer. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But once it stopped, we were able to start clearing out, and my best friend and I were the last two people left in the club because literally I was like on the bottom. Yeah. So once it started clearing out, we still were not sure. So I had lost my ID. I think, like I said, it was in my hand because he had just given it back to me. So I was kind of looking around for my stuff. I had my phone in my hand and everything. So I was kind of looking around for my items, and we saw there was a body laying right at the entrance of the club. And we assumed that it was a security guard, or like the security guard to the club, because he had on like khaki pants and like a black hoodie, like a black top. So then I really got nervous because, you know, there I am thinking that there was somebody caught in the crossfire, like an innocent person caught in the crossfire. So that kind of just sent me over, and we got out of there.
And so obviously there's nothing different that you could have done. It's not as if, you know, you had did something wrong and someone was out to get you, or you were doing something so negative. You were just out having fun. I was just out to have fun. To enjoy yourself. Definitely. And your mindset is not on, you know, protection mode at that time. It's to literally just have fun, like many of the other ones that were there that night. And as you stated, when you saw the body laying there on the ground and not knowing who the person was, could have been a security guard, could have been somebody who got caught in the crossfire, or could have been the person they were actually coming for. And so all these things obviously are going through your brain. Most everybody had gotten out the back door by then. When you listen to the news reports, it seemed like everybody went in front door, kind of went out back door when listening to the news. Knowing that it had nothing to do with you, but you're in the midst of something that's something so tragic. What is going through your mind? Is it survival mode? Is it let me make sure other people are okay? And there's a lot going on, because in reality you're looking at something that seemed like it lasts forever, but only lasts minutes. So, you know, what is going through your mind in that process?
At the time, my main focus, at the time, not knowing what the situation was, I was just grateful that myself and my friend were okay. And that was my main priority. The person that I came down there with, getting us back home to our kids. Yeah. That was my main thing, because at that point, we didn't know what the heck was going on. Now we know for sure that there's one person here who's hurt because we saw the body. Right. So we know at least there's one person hurt, and that was my mindset. Like, we need to go. We need to just get far away from here because we have kids. Like, we have families. And so we have to get out of there. And so that was really all that I could think until we were able to finally get to our cars and able to finally move away from the area. And once we were able to start driving, is when I kind of saw other bodies. And then at that point, I didn't I still wasn't sure what had happened. I still thought it was just people in the wrong place at the wrong time,
Right.
which was still the case, but I just wasn't sure still what had happened. I had no idea. I never in a million years would have guessed that was what was happening.
Right.
That's what had happened.
Yeah, and I can, where the mind is saying, let me get away, but the other part of your brain is, oh my God, someone's laying there.
Yes.
And there's really nothing you can do.
Right.
Because you're in survival mode.
Correct.
And as you're driving away, you're seeing bodies, not knowing exactly why it happened or what happened or how many people were injured. When was it that you finally found out that who did it, why they did it, and how many people had lost lives?
It was the next morning when we drove away and I finally made it home. I was so sick to my stomach. I literally pulled in my driveway, opened my door, and like vomited. Like it physically made me sick. Just the whole feeling and just knowing that there were so many people that got hurt, not knowing what happened or why it happened. That, and then I went in the house. I was able to finally go to bed at some point. And when I woke up the next morning is when I found out exactly what happened, exactly how many people were hurt, and just, you know, basically all of it, that the guy was hurt and all of that. So I didn't find out till the next morning exactly what happened.
So what was your mindset at that point? Obviously thankful that you were able to make it home.
Yeah.
Other than being thankful, what was going through your mindset at that time?
A lot. I didn't really know how to feel. I felt I was kind of in disbelief.
Yeah.
I was in disbelief that I was just so close to something, you know, so tragic, and it just could have been me.
Yeah.
And I was just really in disbelief, to be honest. That's probably the biggest feeling. I really didn't know what to say or how to feel, but that was my biggest feeling, was disbelief. And then why?
Yeah. And I think, honestly, for, let's just say, the city of Dayton, period, a lot of us was left with why. You know, as you're feeling sorry for the victims who were, who has lost their life, who were injured, for the families connected, I think most of us was left with a why. And then as weeks to come, as we start hearing the story kind of fold out and hearing about the guy and why they assumed why he did what he did. And to us, realistically, and we can be honest and say, we're still stuck at why.
Yes.
Because, you know, we can't think of anything that can occur that would make us want to act out in that way. You know, we all get angry.
Right.
We all get upset. But to see somebody go that far, you know, is shocking to us.
It really is.
And we hear about it on TV. We hear, we see movies. And to see a movie happen in real life in front of your eyes had to be a tragic situation. As you stated, you know, you wanted to make sure you guys made it home to your family. So tell us about your family. How many children do you have?
I have 2 kids. At the time, this happened in the beginning of August, so I had a 3-month-old daughter and a 6-year-old son at the time.
So as you said, your focus is you have to stay alive.
Absolutely.
For your children.
Absolutely.
As any mother would, as any father would. Those are the things that run through your mind when bullets are flying or whatever the tragic situation may be. The main focus is obviously self and family, because that's where your mind has to be. And it's unfortunate that some didn't make it home that day, and many were injured on that day as well. So of course, as naturally, we feel sorry for those families. We pray for those families and hope they're doing great. And it's by God's grace that you're here today, and that He saw fit to move you out of that situation and push you through to be able to continue to raise your 2 children. So the Chelsea survived Oregon 9. What is it that you're doing now with your life?
Right now, you know, raising my children. I'm working. I ended up starting a business earlier this year, and it's doing well. It's actually, you know, in the Red Dunbar area. So not very far, but I'm doing the things that make me happy. For the longest, I didn't want to leave the house. I was really scared to do anything, much of anything, because so much was going on. Things that happened at a church, things that happened at the movie theater, and now something happened in little old Dayton, Ohio, where I was, and I really was scared. I didn't want to go anywhere, but with a lot of praying, it just became clear to me that, he wasn't even here anymore. He's not even here anymore. So how can I let this really dictate my life? And so I just started doing the things that made me happy and doing things that, I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And haven't really moved on.
Yeah. And I think any time we go through something tragic, it wakes you up. And on one hand, it will bring you down because it's something that's negative. Then eventually, as you said, prayer, and you finally push yourself to live a normal life. But with living that normal life became things of, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this, because in reality, you do not know, when you're going to leave this earth.
Right.
But we want to leave a great impression on it. So Oregon 9 was a tragic situation here in Dayton, Ohio, but it allowed so many people to be able to push forward and even and bring out dreams and promises that they made to themselves out of a tragic situation. So Miss Chelsea Jones has survived Oregon 9, and not only is she a survivor, she's a mother, she's an entrepreneur, and Dayton is glad to have her. We appreciate you coming on the Pulse Talk Show.
I appreciate you for having me.
No problem. Thank you very much. As stated, our thoughts and prayers goes out to everyone connected to the Oregon shooting. We thank you, Chelsea Jones, for spending the time with us and opening up your heart at that moment and in this time. And as stated, as you guys saw, she has moved on to open up a business. She has moved on to continue to be a great mother, a great friend, and a great family member. So we continue to pray for her and anyone connected as well. So feel free to shop with Chelsea. As you can see her information here on the screen. Try your best during this Christmas time to give back in any type of way that you can. Shop with her, network with her, and do all you can. So we most definitely appreciate that. Now, next coming up, we do have a performance by Krista Dene. Hope you guys enjoy it. A round of applause, everybody. Let's get right into it. Awesome job. We appreciate you again, Miss Krista Dene. Now it is that time of the show, Thinkable Moment with Marlon Shackelford. We appreciate you, man, for everything you do.
Hotel. This is Professor Shaq. You already know I feel real good. Show enough. I love myself. Wakanda forever. That's really where Black love starts at. And I believe in Black love. It starts with loving yourself. But let me move expeditiously to talk about violence. Only got a few minutes. Prevention means stopping it before it starts. And we need to really be on the preventive end. We need to recognize violence, say no to violence, get help when needed. That's important. Don't quit. Don't quit. Get help. Don't jump. Think. Prevention is key. There's a book when you're talking about working with young people. This is so important. Helping teens stop violence. You need to check this out. It talks about the root of violence. Look at this book. This book is important. Another book, if you're serious, this is only if you're serious. Ooh-wee. Understanding Black Adolescence, Male Violence. Amos Wilson, bad boy, y'all. Ooh-wee. The Falsification of African Consciousness, another one, Amos Wilson. Another book you need to meet. I'm moving expeditiously. Doping. This drove Christian crazy. Y'all got to check it out. I read all these pages, y'all. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Another one, Criminalizing a Race. Ooh-wee. Here's some books y'all got to read. Check it out. And then from one of our own scholars right here, the Dean of Street Psychology, Alfred Coach Powell, Hypocrisy. Right, I helped him do some research in this book. Check this book out. This is so awesome. So what am I saying? Prevention means stopping it before it starts. Recognize violence. Say no to violence. Get help. I'm also saying Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because we are. Since I am, therefore we are. We are. So the 6 most important words I teach young people all the time. I am. Say it with me. I am. It's important to say that I am. 6 most important words. I am sorry. Please forgive me. 5 most important words. We can work this out. The 4 most important words. I will help you. The 3 most important words. I love you. You can switch them words. They say love you. I love you. You, I love. It's all positive. The 2 most important words. Thank you. Thank you. Look at somebody. I don't know if somebody's around you. Thank you. The least most important word is me. The most important word is we. I am because we are. And if we're talking about being serious, stopping violence, I am because we are. And make sure this year you pay attention to Kwanzaa, then Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, sir, Mr. Marlon Shackelford. Think of a moment with Mr. Shaq. So you guys get a chance, look him up on Facebook, Marlon Shackelford. You know, also support his business as well with the Street Soldiers, with Black Brothers and Black Sisters involvement as well. One of the great pillars for the community in the city of Dayton. We appreciate you, man. Keep on pushing through. Now, we do appreciate you guys being able to tune in today for the Pulse Talk Show. As stated, I am your host, Terry the Voice. Now, remember, be the pulse for your city, the voice for the people, and the one to make a difference. We appreciate you guys. The Pulse Talk Show, Terry the Voice. You guys be blessed.
Sometimes you lose something you never find again. One thing is true, tomorrow is always brighter. In the midst of a struggle, just know that I love you. I'll do all I can do to make you smile, and I know we can overcome together, and we will be strong, strong. Don't be without courage. You gotta be strong, strong. No matter what, keep going. With our life we will fight. Keep the memory alive. Keep the memory alive. Keep it alive. Oh. After the darkness of night, we'll emerge in the light, and we will find our way. The hurt you feel is something that I can't comprehend. One thing is true, you You'll always have a friend in the midst of a struggle. I'll be there on the double. I'll do all I can do to make you smile, and I know we can overcome together. We will be strong, strong. Don't be without courage. Gotta be strong, strong. No matter what, keep going. And without love, we will fight. We will never forget to keep it alive, alive, alive. After the darkness of night, we'll be marching the light, and we will find a way. I know sometimes the sky looks dark and you can't see beyond the clouds. Just know that there's a brighter day. Strong, strong, together we'll. Don't give up, don't give in. Be strong. Let me tell ya, if you can't see your way around it, we're gonna work it out. Oh, gonna work it out together, together, and we will find a way. We're strong, we're strong. I'll be there to hold your hand, and I'll be there to help you stand. With our life we will fight, keep on living life. After the darkness of night, we'll be marching the light, and we will find a way. Sometimes you lose something you never find.